Okay, guys, today this video is going to be about what you don't deal with will deal with you. And this video will be broken up into two segments. One, just a little more explanation on what I mean by the title, and two, a solution on how to deal with that per se. All right, let's jump into it. So, something that I have noticed is that whenever I'm sitting here trying to, something that I have noticed while I've been doing my inner work, since I'm gonna say I've always been doing inner work subconsciously, but without really knowing it. But anyways, so something that I have always noticed while doing my inner work and being on this journey is that whatever I try to put on a back burner, it'll either manifest into a person, place, or thing, smell, touch, or even cars, like objects. Okay, let me give you an example. So a major one that I have had to deal with, that I didn't know that I was gonna have to deal with this, believe it or not, was being sexually assaulted by my stepdad. Now let me get more details as to what I mean by this. So when it first happened to me, whenever I was sexually assaulted, I did not really take it all in of what happened. I was just like, oh, that happened. That made me feel uncomfortable. And that's it. Like, that's it. Even though I was internally broken. Oh my God, I didn't know that would really mess with me and my body and the way that I perceived sex and the way that I perceived getting touched and the way that I would just look at men in general and the things that would pop up with my kids. I didn't know what that sexual assault would impact in me physically, spiritually, and mentally and emotionally. I didn't know. But like I said, since I've been doing my inner work, these are some things that will pop up. And I was like, oh crap, I'm not healed all the way. Of course, I'm still healing, but I'm better than how we originally started off. So these things will pop up, and let's say I had a partner. If he had rough hands, that roughness would connect me back onto when my stepdad sexually assaulted me, because I would feel his rough hands because he did hard labor jobs, so his hands would be rough. And I'm like, oh my God, every time I would get touched, I'm like, oh my God, like, why don't I like being touched like that? But here's the thing, the dots didn't connect until, like I said, I was doing my inner work. Another thing that would pop up is every time I seen a Cadillac, I would get super upset and be like, oh my God, I hate Cadillacs. Like, why do people like Cadillacs? Ugh, I hate them. Like, they're so ugly. They just piss me off. Like, every time I see a Cadillac, I will genuinely get pissed off. I would get pissed off. Even if somebody wanted to talk about a Cadillac, I'll get pissed off at them and be like, oh, why would you even like a Cadillac? Like, they're so hype maintenance. Like, they're annoying. Like, they don't last long. Like, we had a Cadillac when I was growing up, and we always had problems with it. But it was deeper than me just having, seeing my parents go through financial difficulties with trying to keep up with the Cadillac. It was deeper than that. It was essentially my stepdad being connected with that, right? So then another thing that will pop up is if they will have a beard. I didn't really like guys that had beards because it would remind me of my stepdad. Again, I just will be like, oh, well, beards are just unattractive to me. I just don't like beards. They're just unattractive. But all these things were re-popping up into my life because deep down, surface level, it's like, oh, I just don't like rough hands. Surface level, it's, oh, I just don't like Cadillacs. Surface level is, oh, I just don't like beards. But deeper, the root cause, the deeper root level of it was, it's because you were sexually assaulted and also your trust was broken, amongst many other things. Okay? So after I did that, I started taking it in more. Like, you know what, Kivia? why don't you really like this? Why don't you really like that? What is going on? And numerous things that I did was I journaled about it. I meditated about it. I even talked to a therapist about it. I even prayed about it and talked to God about it and my guides and my ancestors. I combined every single utensil that was out there for me to grab, and I worked on myself. I worked on these things popping up. Because let me tell you this, honey. If you do not look at the red flags that are popping up, that are beaming at you in your life, they're just going to keep popping up. Another thing that was popping up was that I would subconsciously attract men that were like my stepdad, which was, I'm gonna just stick to it just like that. I don't want to go too deep because then the video gonna be too long. But just certain things that my dad would do, stepdad would do, they were starting to manifest into people as well. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, why can't I get away from my stepdad? Why does he keep popping up? Why every single time I'm looking at an object or I'm feeling a touch or I'm conversing with somebody, he keeps popping up? Like, what the hell is going on? If you don't look at those things and you don't do the work on, hey, what's going on is that your inner child, or whenever this happened, is severely hurt. Like, yourself is calling it out. Like, hey, before we go to the next level that we want to be within our higher self, this has to be solved. Because if not, then it's going to pop up in a more bigger frequency, on a more bigger wavelength. And we don't want that. We want to fix it while it's the size that it is at this moment. Because if not, like I said, it's just going to get bigger and bigger every time you reach a new level in your life. So what you guys can do, like I said, is just every time something pops up, either put it in your notes. Because I started off doing that. In 2021, I started writing these things in my notes. Because I'm like, okay, why am I getting so mad over a Cadillac? It's a car. It wasn't just a car. It was deeper than that. So my notes. Today, I saw a squirrel and it pissed me off. Write it down. Today, somebody breathed and it sent me off the rails. Write it down. And what I want you to do is, whenever you have the time, I want you to go back into the notes or go back into your journal and reread that. And if nothing comes up here, just meditate on it for a little bit. Meditate. Just, why do I get so mad every time I see a f***ing squirrel? Just meditate on that for a little bit. And then come back to it later. Something may pop up 30 minutes later. Something may pop up an hour later. Something may pop up a week later. But whenever it pops up, you'll have your aha moment. And once you have your aha moment, then take the steps to declutter all that gunk that has been either thrown onto you or that has been consumed within whatever trauma had happened. Declutter it. How are you going to have to declutter it? First off, you're going to have to accept that it happened to you. That is something that I had to do within myself. I had to accept that it happened to me because something I didn't realize that what I was doing, I would say it didn't happen to me. Even though I would say, oh, that happened to me, whatever. I was subconsciously saying it didn't happen to me because I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to be placed back into that same situation of scarcity that I was in. And to, oh my God, like, I just want somebody to help me. Like, oh my God, mom, dad, brother, somebody walk in. Like, somebody please realize, get this man away from me. I was screaming for help for so long to the point where I started turning off my ears to myself. And when you start turning off the ears to yourself, You'll start turning off the ears to your ancestors, your gods, and God and source and the universe and everything that is meant to help you in this lifetime. You'll start losing your connection. Okay, there is an umbilical cord to you and to God. And once you start cutting it off with yourself, it's hard to let outer source things be connected to you. Because God is always within you. But how can God connect within you when you don't even want to connect within yourself? It won't happen. It won't work. So I started reconnecting the connection between myself firstly, and then of course God and the other things. My ancestors, God, source. You already know when I say other things, those are the only things I'm talking about. God, source, universe, ancestors, guides, angels. That's it. That's it. I don't connect to nothing else. But once I started doing that and started back in tuning within myself, then that's when I could go deeper and be like, oh my God, okay, so this is what actually is going on. I've been screaming out for help for so long to other people, to the point where since other people wasn't listening to that help, essentially, I stopped listening to myself, asking myself for help, which is, can you please heal our heart and mind and body so we can be the woman that we are meant to be and the woman that we desire to be. Okay, the woman that I desire to be is not a woman that's like, oh my God, I can't be touched on my shoulders because my stepdad would do that. I don't like, feeling certain roughness, which guys tend to have rough hands if they're going to be into labor. So it's kind of like, you want a guy that's in here gonna build you a house and stuff, maybe his hands gonna get a little rough. But I had to overcome that, and I'm still am overcoming certain things. But these are just the things that I want to share with you guys while I'm on this journey, because this is what essentially this channel is for, awareness and just following along on this journey, so I can also give you guys guides and tips on how to help better yourself. But yes, once you just journal on that or write that in your notes or meditate on it, you can even pray for healing as well. I did pray for healing of my heart and mind for a very, very long time, because what I realized is that once that happened to me, that was like the tip of the iceberg. After that, I realized I stopped giving a fuck. I stopped giving a fuck on relationships, really, to be honest with you. I just fuck this, fuck that. I don't care about anything. Nobody care about me. Who cares? Like, God isn't real. This isn't real. Like, I'm done. I went into full flesh on darkness mode, where it was like, I no longer see the light, and I don't see how the fuck I'm ever gonna see the light. So bye. Bye. I'm done. I'm out of here. But as you guys can see, I was not done. It was never over for me. It couldn't have been over for me, because I am divinely guided. Oh, got it. I'm divinely guided by God and my ancestors. So it was never done for me. But anyways, yes. So as you do that, just get deeper within yourself. I don't want to make this video too long, but these are just some little tips on things that you can do, or things that will pop up that are trying to make you do your inner work. Because the only reason why these things are popping up, or certain things be making you mad, even when somebody, like I said, just breathes wrong, that could be because your parents, every time you wanted to ask a simple question, I don't know exactly what all are your tics to make you subconsciously pop off, but just go deeper, because when it's not solved, and like I said, little manners, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it will lead down to your kids, and is going to make your kids have to heal from the things that you passed down because you didn't want to heal from it. And then it's also going to give them some type of trauma because it's like, oh my God, mom went through this and then I had to go through this because she went through that. You see what I'm saying? So let's just stop it within ourselves, and our kids won't have to go through that. Our uterus will finally get a break. If you're a woman, our uterus will finally get a break of all that trauma that's stored into us. Okay? Our hearts will finally get all that trauma that's stored into there to be released. Our bodies, because I don't know if you guys know this, but everything that is physical has to happen spiritually first. Meaning, if you have certain diseases that have occurred in your life physically, you have to take a look at the spiritual side about it. Now, of course, just like how when something is spiritual, you have to cleanse it, you have to detox it, you're going to have to do the same thing with your body. So even though something has manifested physically because of something that has happened in your spirit world, you're still going to have to take that same work and put it on your body. So spiritually, yes, I'm healing, I'm meditating, I'm praying to God, I'm doing my cleanses, which is like, I'll rub like sea salt all over my body whenever I get in the shower just to cleanse off any negative energy. I'm rubbing up my hair to protect any outsourced negative energy that I don't want to be consumed within my hair, because as we know, our hair is frequency as well, our hair strands. They carry our DNA, our ancestors' DNA, since we all know that. I mean, not everybody, but since we know that, we want to take care of ourselves. We want to have spiritual hygiene. That's something that I'm writing down right now, so I can make that a video for you guys. Spiritual hygiene. But anyways, since we know we have to have a good spiritual hygiene, you also have to have a good physical hygiene. And I do mean the same thing. Like I just said, you have to detox yourself. You have to have a good diet. Whatever disease that manifested, every disease can be cured. Dr. Sadie, hello. But yes, so just take every single thing that I just said from this video and apply it to your life. And I swear to God, this will give you so much goddess or God-like healing. I swear to you. Your sex life will be better. Your relationships will be better. The connections you have with your kids or future kids will be better. The fruits of your labor will be better. The juiciness of it will be better. The ripeness of it will be better. Everything just gets better times 8. Okay? I say 8 because of abundance. So, all right, guys, I hope you guys love this video. I certainly love talking about this. And I hope you guys in tune to the other videos that I have coming up for you, and have a nice, lovely day, night, or whenever you're watching this. Mwah, mwah, mwah.